So, Myron Gains confronted by a black simp. Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Conversations Are Your Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, as we know, Myron Gains is known for doing his college interviews in a similar fashion to what Steven Crowder became famously known for. And I think he's done a masterful job of this, of exposing how stupid these leftists are on these college campuses. But he also does the same thing on the streets of Miami. And one of the times he did this, he was confronted by a black simp.
Man, where'd you get your game from?
My what?
Where you get your game from?
My game?
Yeah, like, where you get your game from? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume you mean my knowledge. A multitude of different places. Experience, other people's experiences. I read quite a bit on.
I'm talking about your experience.
Well, I'm telling you, it's a.
What's your experience with black women? What's your experience with your game? I'm not talking about how many books you read, other people's experience. Where your game
Well,
from?
I quite literally said my game. I said my experiences, other people's experiences.
What's your
reading.
experience?
Well, I mean, I've talked to more women than any other man probably on the internet.
I'm talking about other women. I'm talking about your experience.
I'm explaining it to you.
Why you hate black women so much?
Oh, I hate black
women?
women?
Down on black women. I'm talking about your experience, not everybody, all the books you read. I'm talking about your experience. Oh, I'm talking about your experience, King.
I told you.
I'm not here to disrespect you, black woman.
Okay.
I'm just talking about your experience.
I told you. I've dated several women. Talked to them on the podcast. I've talked to more women than any other YouTuber. Okay.
What women you dated? What race you dated?
Oh yeah, 3,600. Yep. We've spoken to 3,600 girls on the show. I've talked to
not
thousands of black women. I've dated black women. I understand.
You date a black woman?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay, so that one black woman that you dated discriminate every black woman.
Okay, so he asked Myron, where does he get his game from? And Myron answered, hey, I'm out here dating. I talk to people. I talk to other women. I read. He's talking about, no, I want your experiences. Tell me about your experiences. And then, Myron says, well, look, yes, I interviewed over 3,600 women. I mean, if Myron personally talked to and interviewed 3,600 women on his After Hours podcast, well, that is an experience. That's his experience. So what is this guy talking about? Clearly, he was there just to be combative. Then he asked him, what is his experience from black female? And, well, have you dated any black females? Yeah, I dated. So the guy claims, well, wait, so you're going to judge all black females based off of one experience? Well, you don't have to date every single black woman on the planet to observe a pattern of behavior. Okay, black women are showing this. You don't have to date a black female to see that black females are putting up this, getting a day and age of social media. And they're putting up their experience. They're putting up their behavior. And like I said, in the day and age of social media, black females are the ones that are doing it. This is where people are drawing their conclusion, a lot of their conclusion about black women, is watching what black women put up on social media, videos of them always fighting. And then on top of that, it's still personal experience, because many people still have experience with black women. And there's a reason why people say that black women tend to give the worst service and tend to be the worst to serve, have the most aggressive behavior amongst women. Again, people aren't just saying that for nothing. They have experiences. So clearly this guy here was just simping. He was there simping for black women with his cape on. That's all he was there, not to actually have a real discussion with just a simp for black women, clearly. Now they say that you can basically, if a fool, you let him speak long enough, you will hang him with his own words, because a fool is going to provide the rope to hang himself with. Now, everything he's saying in asking of Myron, the same thing can be asked of black women. Of blacks in America. What experience do the average black person in America have with a negative experience that the average black person have in America? Nothing. The same applies to white people. Like, what negative experience that all these black folks are having with white folks in America? Like, so what negative experience do most black people have in the entirety of America? With cops? How many black people in America really truly have all these negative experiences with cops? How many blacks have had their ass beat by cops? A fraction of black people. Again, I said racist white folks. How many black people in America really truly experience all this racism from white folks every day on a daily basis, all the damn time? None. It's made up nonsense. And discrimination. Once again, where are all these black people being discriminated against all the damn time? Hell, if ever. Never. Most of the time they cry about discrimination is stuff that they make up. They have to make up the example. Most black people do not have these negative experiences in this country. And this is why I don't allow group collective oppression. Because with group collective oppression, all black people, everybody's crying about everybody's oppression but their own. They're never telling us about their own oppression. And the problem with group collective oppression is if you have a whole bunch of people crying about oppression that they themselves never experienced, and you get a giant convoluted mess of nonsense. And you have, it appears that something is a much, much bigger problem than it actually is, because everybody's crying about it. But then if you ask the individual, how have you been discriminated against? And they'll attempt to try to answer that question and it'll fall flat. And in most cases, in my experience, they'll tell you flat out, hey, I'm not being, they'll tell you they're doing well in America. Then I'm like, well, why are you crying about all this oppression? Well, other black people. Again, but like I said, if he is going to apply that to Myron Gains, and I expect him to apply that same logic to black Americans. When black people cry about racism, or he's going to ask him, well, is that your experience? Or are you reading other people's books? Because if that's exactly how it happened. Anyway, this guy proved himself to be nothing but a simp. And as I said, he was not there to have any logical discussion. He was just there to lash out basically like an emotional female. But Myron handled himself well. And of course, if you watch the whole video, this fool got so upset that he was ready to throw that cup at Myron. And he's ready to crash out over black females who the overwhelming majority of them wouldn't even give him a shot and call him a lame. They would call him ugly and call him lame unless he had money. Anyway, like I said, that's my 2 cents on this. That guy really, truly is really part of what's the problem in the black community. They don't want to call out the truth. And as always, y'all, until next time.